If you get VA disability, pension, GI Bill, or survivor benefits, there are three direct deposit rules that trip up thousands of veterans every year. And most people don't find out until a payment gets delayed, bounced, or held up entirely. I'm going to walk you through exactly what the VA requires when it comes to how your money moves, who's affected, what a lot of veterans get wrong, and one detail near the end that could save you from a real headache if you're on more than one type of VA benefit. Stick with me because rule number 2 catches even veterans who've been doing this for decades. Subscribe now for the latest VA, Social Security, SSI, SSDI, and Medicare updates so you never miss an important benefit change. Let's start with the big picture because this is the rule most people assume doesn't apply to them. Federal law requires that almost all VA benefit payments go out electronically. That's not a VA preference. It's a Treasury Department requirement under federal regulation, and it's been the standard for years now. Paper checks are the exception, not the default. If you're still getting a paper check in the mail, you're one of a shrinking number of veterans, and you may be missing out on speed and security you didn't realize you had access to. Direct deposit funds typically post by 9 a.m. local time on your scheduled payment date. And some banks, Navy Federal and USAA, are known for this. Release VA funds a day or two early as a courtesy to military account holders. A paper check has none of that. It can get lost, stolen, delayed by weather, or sit in a mailbox for days. Now, here's where it gets important for veterans without a traditional bank account. A lot of people assume that if they don't have a bank, they're stuck waiting on checks. That's not true. The VA partners with something called the Veterans Benefits Banking Program, or VBBP. It's a list of veteran-friendly banks and credit unions that will help you open an account, even if you've had banking trouble in the past, specifically so you can receive direct deposit. And if a traditional bank account still isn't the right fit for you, there's a second option, the Direct Express prepaid debit card, which functions like a bank account without actually requiring one. Either way, the days of relying on a mailed check as your main option are basically gone, and understanding that now means you won't be caught off guard later if a check-based payment gets flagged or delayed. Subscribe now for the latest VA, Social Security, SSI, SSDI, and Medicare updates so you never miss an important benefit change. Before we get to Rule 2, if this kind of practical, no-fluff breakdown of veteran and retiree benefits is useful to you, go ahead and hit like and subscribe. It genuinely helps this channel keep making these videos, and I've got more benefit breakdowns like this coming. Rule number 2 is the one that surprises even longtime VA beneficiaries, and it involves veterans who receive more than one type of benefit. Let's say you get VA disability compensation, and you're also using education benefits like the GI Bill, or you're receiving both compensation and a VA pension. Here's the part people miss. The VA generally requires that all of your benefit payments go into the same bank account, not different accounts for different benefit types, the same one. If your direct deposit information doesn't match across benefit types, that mismatch can cause a payment to be delayed or held while it gets sorted out. This isn't something the VA broadcasts loudly, and plenty of veterans set up their education benefit accounts separately from their disability account years ago without realizing those two need to line up. If you're receiving more than one VA benefit, it's worth logging into va.gov and checking the direct deposit information section for each benefit type, just to confirm they match. Subscribe now for the latest VA, Social Security, SSI, SSDI, and Medicare updates, so you never miss an important benefit change. If you're the spouse, dependent, or survivor of a veteran, and you receive certain VA-administered benefits, this includes CHAMFA health coverage, the Spina Bifida Healthcare Benefits Program, or the Children of Women Vietnam Veterans Program, you are required to set up your own direct deposit separately. It doesn't automatically piggyback off the veteran's account. This is a detail that catches survivors and spouses off guard, especially if they're newly navigating VA benefits after a veteran has passed away or become unable to manage their own paperwork. If that's your situation, the va.gov portal has a specific path for family members to set this up, and it's worth doing sooner rather than later, because delays here tend to happen right when people can least afford them emotionally or financially. Now let's talk about how you actually change or update your direct deposit information, because this is where rule number 3 comes in, and it's really a protection as much as it is a rule. To change your banking information for VA payments, you need to log into va.gov using a verified identity login, either login.gov or id.me. That verification step exists specifically because direct deposit fraud targeting veterans is a real and ongoing problem. Scammers have spent years posing as VA representatives, calling or texting veterans and claiming there's an urgent issue with their direct deposit that needs to be verified or corrected immediately. Here's the simple truth: the VA does not call, text, or email you asking you to confirm or update your banking details. If you ever get a message like that, it's not the VA. Hang up, don't click the link. And if you're unsure, call the VA directly using the number on their official site, not a number given to you in the suspicious message. The identity verification requirement is annoying sometimes, especially for veterans who aren't as comfortable with online logins. But it's one of the strongest protections you have against someone hijacking your monthly payment. If you do need help setting up that verified login, or you're not confident navigating va.gov on your own, you don't have to do it alone. You can call the VA directly, or in many areas, your local Veterans Service Organization. Groups like the VFW or American Legion will sit down with you and walk through the direct deposit setup in person. That's a resource a surprising number of veterans don't know exists, and it costs nothing to use .subscribe now for the latest VA, Social Security, SSI, SSDI, and Medicare updates, so you never miss an important benefit change. If your VA payment doesn't show up on the date you expect, don't panic and don't assume something is wrong with your claim or your eligibility. In the vast majority of cases, a missing payment traces back to one of three boring fixable causes. Your bank account information on file at va.gov is outdated. The payment date shifted because the first of the month landed on a weekend or federal holiday, or your bank simply hasn't finished clearing the transfer yet. Smaller banks and credit unions can take an extra 1 to 2 business days even after the VA has already released the funds. The VA generally recommends waiting 3 business days past your scheduled date before assuming there's a real problem. Most veterans who call in a panic on day one end up finding out it was simply a timing issue on the bank's side. Knowing that ahead of time saves you the stress of thinking your benefits have been cut off when really it's just Tuesday and your bank is slow. Rule 1: your VA payments are almost certainly required to go out electronically, either through direct deposit or the Direct Express card. And if you're unbanked, the Veterans Benefits Banking Program exists specifically to help you get set up. Rule 2: if you receive more than one VA benefit, your direct deposit accounts need to match across the board. And if you're a spouse, dependent, or survivor receiving certain family benefits, you need your own direct deposit set up separately. It doesn't transfer automatically. Rule 3: only a verified login.gov or id.me account can change your banking information on va.gov, and that's your best defense against scammers pretending to be the VA. Real VA communication will never ask you to confirm your bank details over a phone call or text message. Subscribe now for the latest VA, Social Security, SSI, SSDI, and Medicare updates so you never miss an important benefit change. If there's one single takeaway to walk away with today, it's this: log into your va.gov account this week, go to your profile, and simply confirm your direct deposit information is current and consistent across every benefit you receive. It takes about 5 minutes, and it's the single easiest way to prevent a delayed or misdirected payment down the road. You've earned these benefits. Don't let something as fixable as an outdated bank account number get in the way of receiving them on time. Take care of yourself, take care of that account information, and I'll see you in the next one.